Well, I guess I'm quitting fighting games. So first off, I'm not quitting the genre entirely. I absolutely love fighting games and I will always love fighting games. Whether it be the lifelong lessons it's taught me from the age of 16 to now, patience, things like focus. It's taught me a lot of things as fighting games. I am always going to be grateful to fighting games for that. But at the same time, I really would love to diversify my content to something that's more akin to variety. That's personal bias that I really want to do. That also being said, I do want to talk about Tekken Season 2, and this sudden shift has made me realize we might as well try something different whilst Tekken is going through its puberty stage. Going through puberty at the current moment, let's just try something different. So let's talk about Tekken Season 2. The first thing I want to state here is Tekken 8, good game. Fine game. If you enjoy Tekken 8, good on ya. I liked Season 1 fine. It was a game that I could play pretty much at any time, not get stressed, and just beat up people for about 2.5 hours. Simple as that. Could go even further. It could even go on to 8 hours just because I had a blast. It was not a bad game. If you enjoy Tekken 8, good on ya. You enjoy it. I have no disrespect on that opinion. Now let's move on to Tekken Season 2. For me, 3D fighting games have always had the legacy of being an extremely complex genre as a whole, whether it be Dead or Alive and its stagger mechanic in 5, or its extremely annoying advance holds, sure, to Virtual Fighter's weight system, where characters with certain weight requires you to do certain character-specific combos, even down to knowing a character's height. Now that does happen in Tekken, but point being made there. Tekken hits differently though. It somehow bridges the gap between casual and hardcore to the point where there is not really that much difference. You can get to the point where, yes, someone can look very, very hardcore on the surface, but they don't actually know what they're doing. It's just, you're a beginner, you don't understand how to counter the thing that's happening on the screen. They could be really casual and seem hardcore, even though they're not doing anything specifically special. Generally speaking, I would consider myself casual at the game. I do. My overall rank used to be Raijin before the changeover of the seasons. Not a Tekken God, I was pretty decent at the game. I would have loved to try for a Tekken God, but for me, Raijin was a point where I felt comfortable. I felt like that was the area that I was at, and still do think I could probably get Raijin. It was the area that I've been craving since I was 16, and I was super happy that I got that far. It was an accomplishment. I stood on the shoulders of giants and I saw a beautiful view. And for me, that is something that I'll always owe Tekken. I will always love that about Tekken. It made me feel accomplished from getting to the rank from point A to point B. And I will always love Tekken for that. The reason why I'm telling you my story about Raijin is because the core thing about Tekken is legacy. There is a legacy amount of skill that comes about when you learn this game. You learn this game not in one day, you learn it over years, and then you get better, slowly climb, and that mountain is extremely hard. No one can safely say that they got to Raijin or Fujin without learning something about this game. And then I loaded up Tekken Season 2, and everything I learned might as well just disappeared. It kind of was already lingering from the first season of Tekken 8. I loaded up Tekken Season 2, and just figured, hey, let's play a few games. Let's see what the fuss is about. Why is this game now bad? Played some good games, some bad games, some terrifying games. Jack, Season 2, Day 1. This Jack had an 18-game win streak. Alright, that's fine. I've had similar win streaks in the past, not with Jack, but we'll see how this match goes. I didn't have a single strategy. I was completely clueless. The only thing I could think of was sidewalk. And even then, the guy could homing attack me. So what was my actual options in this match? I didn't know. I didn't even know how to play Jack in Season 1. I didn't even know how to play Jack in Tekken 7. I didn't know this character. Nothing about this character. I've never played up against this character. It's one of the rarest characters I've ever seen online. And yet, I got overwhelmed. I just couldn't think of anything to do. Then I realized the game I love died. Okay, I'm being slightly overdramatic here, but people are saying that this game is more leaning towards the casual, and this particular strategy, it's not casual friendly, even if you look at it from a casual perspective. I'm someone who kind of knows how to play the game, and even I felt overwhelmed by it. What good would a noob do against this? I at least knew that you could probably sidewalk it, but even then, I didn't have a clue what happens if I got punished for that sidewalk. So how is this at all casual friendly? And yes, they have addressed this as being a bug, but that doesn't explain the other outrageous things found in the patch. Why do some characters now play like a Soul Calibur character and have massive range hitboxes? Why is there so many tracking mids that are somehow +6? Why is it that key charge no longer does a counter itself? Is it just because of a Waran? Because it kind of, you can still do that. Why didn't you just remove that setup? You could just remove that move from counter it launching. That was the simpler process. But instead, we get rid of one thing, everything else goes. The other thing that frustrates me is sidestepping. This game's sidestep is extremely satisfying, and yes, it feels incredible to do. Combo realignment, that feels incredible. But why did everything now get tracking? It feels like you've just negated that entire property. Why did you do so many good things towards sidestepping, but somehow negate it all due to the fact that most things track? That's the biggest thing that kind of makes me sad. It just makes me sad. That's such a good thing that you've done, and now it's just been negated. The thing's just gone. The reason to sidestep is just gone. But that is something they'll eventually patch out, and they will find nuance within both the community for both casual and competitive. That's going to happen sooner or later. Irregardless of what happens, that will be something that they'll be looking into at this moment. They can't be. They have to be looking into that, and that's something that's going to be, rest assured, probably fixed. And if it isn't, RIP Tekken. The thing that echoes me isn't necessarily the patch. That will be sorted out sooner or later. That's an inevitability that they're going to make peace with both the competitive and the casual bases. That's going to happen. What echoes me is kind of what happens to the community. It's kind of divided the community down the middle, with people who love the Season 2 and people who hate it, just want it to be reverted back to Season 1. When there are benefits to both Season 2's patches, some characters did need some buffing. Some got overtuned, but that's neither here nor there. There are positive things to come out of Season 2, irregardless of what people think. I, for one, want them to keep sidestepping, and there are some cool and interesting moves found within the patch. And the final thing that I kind of want to talk about is generally the backlash people had about the patch. You see, the patch itself wasn't necessarily the worst thing that happened to Tekken Season 2. It's how people responded to the patch that was awful. Why were people giving death threats to the developers? Why was the developer then pseudo blocking people who were just saying, hey, the game's not for me, leave a bad review if you don't like it, that's all you need to do. That's all they were saying. That's a fairly positive outlook in my opinion. People were saying, hey, don't play the game if you don't like it. That's a healthy way of looking at it. How is that not healthy? You don't like the game, don't play it. And that's what I've chosen to do. For me, fighting games, this golden age that we're meant to be in, it's just not for me. I still want to talk about them, but to be honest with you, I'd rather talk about fear and hunger. I'd rather talk about other things and make videos about things that I actually enjoy, rather than things like Tekken Season 2 being complete and utter, like Tekken Season 2 being a nuclear fallout shelter. Like, no, I'd sooner talk about Fear and Hunger, a game. I'd rather talk about Fear and Hunger, a game actively trying to torture you, than a game that is now starting to torture you. I'd sooner talk about Fear and Hunger any day of the week. For me, this is a reminder that Tekken is just a game. You shouldn't really take it to heart. It will eventually change, whether it be for the best or for the worst, whether it be deep or shallow, it doesn't matter. It's just a game. Have fun either with boycotting the game, have fun with the Season 2 patch. For me, this is the saddest part about the entire debacle. It's not the patch, it's how people reacted. Whether it be developers blocking creators due to them having opinions, saying, hey, leave a bad review. Don't send death threats to the people actually sending death threats. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. You don't like a game? Gonna send death threats? Stupidest motivation I've ever had. What it comes down to is we all have this weird parasocial relationship where we demand too much, but at the same time, they live in this sort of, where at the same time the developers do actually understand some parts of the game and get it wrong sometimes. They don't understand what the fans want all the time, and that's fine. They don't need death threats because they don't understand all the time. Maybe just tell them. Maybe they just need... that is also the saddest part. Why can't we just communicate? Like, get someone who knows their stuff and just tell them what's wrong with the game. That would just make everything so much better if just one person could tell them everything that's up with the game, and they listen and just fix it to how fans want it. We need a union. That sounds stupid, but we kind of do. It kind of feels like at this point, Tekken needs a union rep. Let's get Nee as a union rep. Or Cherry Berry Mango. He's gonna buff Devil Jin, I can see that. But no, that's kind of, it's the saddest thing about this entire debacle, and I just wish it wasn't the case. I just wish that the developers and the fans kind of could sort of, I don't know, I don't actually know. It just feels like that is the only thing that's made me sad about this entire thing. You need a union. But then that leads to the most important topic of this entire video. Me. I don't want to become synonymous with fighting games. I want to become synonymous with just making videos I enjoy making. Whether it be about a fighting game or some random game that I actually am enjoying. Beer and hunger. The point I'm making here is I don't like making videos about fighting games. I like making videos. Just so happens that I love fighting games at the same time. The point of this channel isn't necessarily to talk about fighting games, it's to talk about anything. I just want to make a portfolio or a time capsule of things I enjoy or things or opinions that I had at the time. The reason why I want to talk about Tekken Season 2 at the current moment. That's the point I kind of want to make here is, just because you like something doesn't mean your entire world or whatever you do should be based around that one thing. It's not. It's about having breakfast, eating dinner, going to bed, sleeping, talking to people, socializing and enjoying life in general. So after you liked, comment and subscribe to this channel, tell me, what do you like about Tekken Season 2? What do you like about Tekken Season 2? Do you play Tekken? Do you play Street Fighter? What fighting games do you actually play? What fighting games are you looking forward to? And what videos would you like me to make? Would you be interested in more stream highlights? Would you be interested in me doing offline content with people? Would you be interested in me teaching people how to play fighting games? There's a lot of things I'm doing for this outro. The point is, have a good day, have a great life, and I'll see you next time. Ja, matane yo.